Greetings, everyone. A very warm welcome to another edition of Exhausted to Extraordinary, a mindset hack series with me, Dr. Sharon Grossman. And today I'm joined by Pat Romboletti. A very warm welcome to you from Miami Beach. And tell us where you're hanging out.
I'm hanging out in Atlanta, so the airport where everybody visits.
I've been to that airport a few times, and I can tell you, I remember the first time I was there, it was just the airport that never ends.
It is the airport that never ends. That's exactly right. But virtually everybody I know passes through there sometimes. So,
okay, well, next time you're in Atlanta, if you're listening to this, go and visit Pat.
Absolutely, stop by.
All right, and for those of you who don't know Pat, she is an author, TEDx speaker, LinkedIn expert, and creator of the 4-step Bulletproof Your Career methodology. She's the direct path to fundamentally changing your relationship with your career. After almost 2 decades as a retained executive recruiter, Pat switched sides and exposed the secrets behind the hiring curtain. She's coached over 900 executives globally and uses her expertly crafted Bulletproof methodology to give her coaching clients an unfair advantage against a rigged and frustrating hiring system. And her From Onboard to Bulletproof program will make sure they never again say, "I didn't see it coming." Now, if that sounds intriguing, then listen up, because in just 7 minutes, Pat's going to share with you how to bulletproof your career for life. Now, I can't wait to hear this because this sounds really exciting. So whether you are considering changing your career or just maybe finding another job, this is going to be really fascinating. Pat, your 7 minutes start now. And question number 1 is, what are the biggest challenges your ideal client faces?
Yeah, so I'm going to divide this into ideal client A and B, because I have ideal clients that are in full-time transition and those that have landed. Mm-hmm. And the problems or the challenges are a little bit different. For the full-time search, they've lost their identity. They no longer can introduce themselves as the VP of XYZ, the CMO. And that identity loss is one of their biggest challenges. For those who have landed, their confidence has been shaken by the process of finding a job and being questioned about their capabilities over and over and over again. So those are the 2 biggest challenges from those 2 sections.
So question number 2, what are the typical symptoms that they experience with that problem?
Well, the symptom in both cases, the biggest symptom is confidence. They lose their confidence. And that manifests itself in the way they interview. It manifests itself in everything, right? The way they create their resume, and they try not to brag. And in the process of not bragging, they don't showcase, right? So that's a big deal. And that's whether they're in a full-time transition or landed. And the whole bulletproof concept is that you really need to always be ready to be ready. And when your confidence is shaken, it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah, I bet. So question number 3 is, what are the common mistakes they make when trying to solve that problem?
Many, but often it's the same solution we often think about, which is if they're in transition, they just try harder, right? And so they try harder in their job search. They start using a network of folks that are also in the job search, and they tend to amplify each other's pain instead of solve each other's problems. Mm-hmm. So that's one scenario. For those that have landed, they think that if they just work harder this time and burn out, which is what happens. But if I just work harder this time, I won't get caught in the next transition of the company, in the next reorganization. So I'll buckle down and work 7 days a week, 24/7, and that will do it. That's the 2 biggest mistakes.
Yeah. So 4 minutes, 27 seconds. And question number 4 is, what would be an example of a transformation that is possible after this challenge is properly diagnosed?
Well, I spend a lot of time working with my folks on first diagnosing it and then having skills so that we get it's all about building up their confidence and getting them to understand that their past performance is good testimony to their future performance. That's number one. And the other one is to get them to believe that it's not about them anyways, that the vulnerability that they have now as an executive is all about what I talk about in my TED Talk, which is there's just so much reorganization constantly in order for companies to compete. So it's really, the bottom line is it's a huge mindset shift. And that's where all of the focus is, and getting them to revisit. I have them do something called a career story, so that they line out what their story was as their career so far. And then they look at it and go, man, I'm good. And that helps to start build the confidence.
I love it. Yeah, it's great. So 3 minutes, 16 seconds. Question number 5 is, what's the number one mindset hack you could give your ideal client to solve that problem?
The biggest mindset hack I give my clients right now is one that I just mentioned, which is I have them go through, this is like a 8 or 9 page document by the time they get through, and they walk through their career from the very beginning till how did they get in their first job, and who were their mentors, and what impact did they make. And all of the questions are designed to elicit from them the truth about their career, which is they made an impact, they led great teams, they did great work. And some clients need to read that every single day. Some need to read it once a week, and some need to read it once in a while. But it's when you're in a world that is constantly questioning you, which is what the search process is about. And even inside of a company, constantly being a little bit off, that reading that career story is a huge difference for them.
Yeah, it kind of helps cement all of their capabilities and their past performance, which we often forget about. We overlook it because it's part of our normal day-to-day life. We don't think anything about it.
Right. Like it's not a big deal is what they say. I did that, but that's not a big deal.
All right. So in 2 minutes, we've got question number 6. What's the one valuable free resource that you can direct people to that will further help with that problem?
Yeah, so I'm going to be offering today chapter 4 of my book. It is a chapter focused primarily on networking. But guess what? Effective networking is what helps them form a community that builds them up, that supports them, and that allows them to have access to people inside of companies, so that, they're not the stranger applying for a job, but they have somebody inside that's giving testimony to their experience. And many of those people in the network, the right network, are also the ones that are saying, you did great work with us, and I can't wait to refer you in here. So I want them to have that chapter 4 of my book. It's a really strong chapter on a foundation for bulletproofing.
Yeah. So if you're hearing this, you definitely want to grab that chapter, because it sounds like a really important way of going about your solution, doing it with other people. Now, in 50 seconds, we got one more question for you, Pat. Question number 7. What's the one question I should have asked you, but didn't, that would give great value to our audience?
I think my mission is to fundamentally change my clients' relationship to their career. And the question would be, why do they need to do that? Why am I begging them to do that? The quick, short answer in our probably 20 seconds we have left is that corporate America fundamentally changed their relationship to their employees not too many years ago, but the employees have not caught up. And they did it because of the disruption that's going on, right? But if I can get people to just recognize that there's a shift needed, it will help them open up their mind and start doing what they need to do.
Fantastic. And you ended it right on time. I love it. All right, Pat, fantastic job. Thank you so much for being here and sharing some of your work and your wisdom, as well as your free resource and mindset hack with us. And again, if you're hearing this, take Pat up on her offer. I'll leave everything in the show notes, and we'll see you again next week. Take care. Thanks for checking out the Exhausted to Extraordinary podcast. If you like what we do here, head on over to iTunes to subscribe, like us, and leave us a review. It is very much appreciated. And if you're feeling burned out and want to challenge yourself, take the 7-day Burnout to Your Best Life Bootcamp. Go to 7dayburnoutchallenge.com to join for free.